All right. So this is going to be a combination of strengthening and stretching. So we're going to kind of post up here. We're going to use the table for support. Different combinations of foot position and stance here. So right now I've got my feet square. So I can do that, and I can do kind of just rocking forward. I'm going to push my butt back so I load in my hips and glutes here. I have some support from the table, so I can do that for like a stretching. And again, when you reach out here, you're driving more through your chest and your hands, but you're going to pull your shoulder blade back here. So you want to use that centripetal pull there as well. So I can go straight out like this, or I can come across like this, pulling back here, or I can come across. And again, I'm loading the leg. I'm biasing that leg that I'm coming towards this direction. Or I could even do both hands if I wanted to kind of work through there. So the other thing I can do with this is I can go into a staggered stance. So now my right leg is in front, and I can get a little bit more support, lengthening that way for both reaching across or the same side. Another thing we can do here, this is more for that fifth wheel rotation, is I can do like a thread the needle here, okay? So I'm stabilizing with this arm, but it's not doing a whole lot. Again, I'm going to shift my weight in that same direction. I'm going to turn my head with that hand, kind of rocking through to get that flow through here and shifting my weight to better manage it from side to side. Now, when we talk about strengthening, in the diagonal this way, you're going to get a good stretch when you come across like this to get that kind of twist, that spiral stretch through there. Now, strengthening, we're going to talk about bearing weight. This is something that a lot of times can be painful in the shoulders. So just like when you load your hips and you set back in your hips and you kick that back, you got to think about the same thing for your shoulder blade, especially when you're bearing weight or if you're lifting something heavy. So when you rock forward here, you want to keep your chest out and some weight in your hips, but you're going to pull those shoulder blades back and down and in towards the middle of your back. So you don't want to be all hunched up like this, because that's where this is going to separate and collapse, and you're going to overload your neck and your shoulders. So when we rock forward, we want to pull the shoulder blades back and keep the chest out and keep the core taut to manage that load. And just in the same way, I can come more diagonally over to the one side, or I can even be in my diagonal stance here to bear some of that weight over my leg. So I can go back and forth like this, or I can go side to side and bear that weight. And then lastly, just like we did the stretch here, the thread, the needle, I can come out the opposite end where I'm actually coming here. Now my weight's going into this arm, and I'm rotating my wheel this way. So this shoulder blade has to pull back and in. So does this one too, to open up that chest. But I'm bearing weight on my left here as I open up to my right. So I can do some repeats there. I can even do like a combination thread the needle, right? And I can use this other leg too to offload here. It all depends on where you feel comfortable, and you can mix and match too to kind of get a better sense of how that flow should work. But you can bear weight here and load that way, or you can bear weight to the opposite side here, and you can do both sides like that, or you can do just elbow, hand behind the head here, so you can rotate and practice something like that. But again, you can mix and match a lot of those things for both the stretching and the strengthening components. Okay.